All right, let's get right into it. We're going to look at a feature on the map of North America that you've probably glanced at 1,000 times, but maybe never really thought about. It looks like a simple stretch of water, right? But what if I told you it's one of the most volatile, misunderstood, and frankly, strategically important places on the entire continent? I mean, seriously, take a good look at it. It's this long, jagged gash that separates the Mexican mainland from that thin little finger of land, the Baja Peninsula. It almost looks like a mistake, doesn't it? Like a geographical error, as if you're watching the continent literally tear itself apart in super slow motion. And we're not talking about some small inlet here. The scale of this thing is just immense. From top to bottom, the Gulf of California stretches for over 700 miles. Let that sink in. It is a massive, massive feature. To give you a sense of just how huge that is, imagine a body of water that starts in New York City and ends all the way down in Atlanta. That's the kind of scale we're dealing with. It's basically an entire sea, just tucked away, hidden in plain sight. So the big question is, why is it even there? Well, this wasn't some calm, gentle process. Oh no. Its existence is the result of some of the most violent geological forces our planet can dish out. Get this. What you're looking at is quite literally a baby ocean being born. Millions of years ago, Baja was stuck right onto the mainland. But then the San Andreas fault system kicked into gear and started dragging the peninsula to the northwest, literally unzipping the continent. The Pacific Ocean flooded into the gap, and the crazy part? The process is still happening today. The Gulf is getting wider as we speak. Now here's the twist. All of that violent, chaotic geology, it accidentally created a paradise. You've got these super deep basins and some of the most extreme tides on Earth, all churning up this incredible cocktail of nutrients from the seabed. The result is an ecosystem so unbelievably rich that the legendary Jacques Cousteau gave it a very fitting nickname. And yeah, you can totally see why he called it that. The numbers are just staggering. The Gulf is home to almost 900 species of fish. And get this, a third of all the world's marine mammal species. Whales, dolphins, sea lions, they all live here or pass through. It's not just an aquarium, it's a biological superpower. But there's another side to this story, a much darker, dustier side, especially when you look at the northern tip of the Gulf. It's a story that centers on a ghost of a river, one that used to be among the mightiest in North America, the Colorado. You have to imagine what this used to be. Not that long ago, this was a 2 million-acre green oasis where the Colorado met the sea. It was a paradise. But today, it's gone. It's a cracked, barren salt flat. Why? Because of all the dams and water diversions upstream, mostly in the United States, we've essentially strangled the river to death before it can reach its final destination. And when you kill a river delta, you kill what lives in it. This man-made disaster has had catastrophic results, pushing an incredible little animal called the vaquita, the world's smallest and rarest porpoise, which lives only here, right to the very brink of extinction. It's believed there are now fewer than 12 left. Not 12,000, 12. But there is a sliver of hope. Back in 2014, scientists ran an experiment called a pulse flow. Basically, they convinced the authorities to open the floodgates on the dams for just a little while. And for the first time in decades, the river actually touched the sea again. And you know what happened? The delta exploded back to life. It proved the ecosystem isn't dead, it's just being held hostage. So this gets you thinking, right? The US controls the river's water, but Mexico controls the entire sea itself. So how did that happen? How did Mexico wind up with total dominion over this massive body of water, and why in the world did the US just let it happen? Well, the answer is weird. It actually starts with a fantasy novel. No, I'm not kidding. This is one of the greatest map-making blunders of all time. So in the 1500s, a popular Spanish novel described a mythical island paradise called California. When Spanish explorers got here, they just assumed this was it. Even after another explorer proved it was a peninsula just a few years later, the idea of the island of California was just too cool to let go. The mistake went viral on maps for nearly 200 years. It got so out of hand that in 1747, the King of Spain himself had to issue a royal decree just to say, okay, people, for the last time, California is not an island. So this long history of confusion probably played a role in what happened next. Fast forward to 1848, the end of the Mexican-American War. The U.S. is carving up territory, taking modern-day California, Arizona, and Nevada. But when the American negotiators looked at the Baja Peninsula, they just shrugged. To them, it was nothing but a worthless desert peninsula. So they left it with Mexico. And that single decision to just walk away from Baja turned out to be one of the biggest geopolitical miscalculations the U.S. ever made. By leaving that peninsula in Mexico's hands, they accidentally gave the country one of its most powerful strategic trump cards for the 21st century. So here's why that matters. Because Mexico controls the land on both sides of the Gulf, the mainland to the east and the peninsula to the west. They were able to pull off an absolutely brilliant legal maneuver. They designated the entire Gulf as internal waters. Now, what does that mean? It means the rest of the world has to legally treat it like a lake inside Mexico. There is no automatic rite of passage for foreign ships. No navy can just sail in without permission. It is a private maritime fortress. Okay, so that's the history. But how is this playing out right now? Well, that worthless peninsula and that clever legal move are now unlocking a powerful economic future for Mexico, one that could directly challenge the United States. Think about it. For decades, goods from Asia have funneled through the clogged-up ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. It's a huge economic bottleneck. Mexico sees a golden opportunity here. They're building a California bypass. The idea is that cargo ships can skip the U.S. entirely, sail into the secure waters of the Gulf, unload at Mexican ports, and then new rail lines will shoot those goods right into the American heartland, faster and cheaper. But it's not just about shipping containers. The land along the Gulf's eastern shore, in the state of Sonora, is sitting on another massively strategic resource that some are calling white gold. We're talking about huge deposits of lithium. And Mexico is playing this very smart. They've nationalized these lithium reserves and launched a massive initiative called Plan Sonora. The goal is to build a complete green energy powerhouse. They'll mine the lithium, build battery factories right there, and power the whole thing with huge solar farms. And the Gulf of California. It's the linchpin. It provides the essential water for cooling and the secure ports to ship those finished batteries to the world. So the next time you look at that jagged tear on the map, don't just see a body of water. See a baby ocean being born. See a fragile ecosystem being held hostage. And see an accidental